How do you earn trust with a new team when you're a contract Agile coach? So the contract bit gets a bit interesting. You're somebody who's been brought in for a period of time to do a particular job. When I worked as a contract coach, often you appeared almost out of the blue and the team were a bit baffled as to why you turned up. But actually, that doesn't matter. Okay? Building trust is the same regardless of how you turned up. You are new to that team. Maybe they're already formed, they work, they have an identity. They don't know you. Why should they trust you? Well, why should they? Have a think about it, honestly. You're unknown to them. They don't know who you are, what you stand for, how good you are at your job. If you think in your life, maybe you've got children and you're thinking of getting a babysitter because you want to go out for the evening, and somebody random turns up on the doorstep, and your mother has sent them to babysit for your children. Would you just go, yeah, of course, not a problem, in you come? Or would you want to know much more about them? Well, the team's in the same situation. Their manager, the organisation somehow has appeared this coach. Maybe they were involved in that process. Very often they weren't. It's just somebody who's turned up. So what do we need to do? Well, I'm a huge fan of a thing called the trust equation. Think from trusted advisors. And really, it's a behavioural equation that talks to the key levers of trust. So we have your credibility times by your reliability, times by your intimacy, how well you know that person, all over your self-orientation. And for me, this is important because this gives me 4 key levers to play with for trust. What we have to remember is trust is personal. The team doesn't trust you, individuals trust you. Okay? So we have to look at our relationships with each person in that team and think of these levers. Okay. Credibility. How credible are you at your job? How trustworthy are you when it comes to knowledge? Do you have experience? So you probably want to introduce yourselves. You maybe want to use certifications. That's a common way of doing it, though it's not one I'm a great fan of, if I'm honest, says the guy with a long string of letters after his name from the Agile world. What you want to do is talk to them, introduce yourself. Okay, talk about what you have done, what experiences you bring to the table, because they may be useful. Okay, a big part of that, and you'll notice a lot of consultants do this, is being able to call up models, books, things that already exist that they can point to and say, here's a thing smart people created. We're going to use that. So what you want to do is, if you don't have those to hand, is do a little bit of research. If nothing else, know the basics of the history of Agile. Okay, where does it come from? Agile coaches, and I've met them, who don't know when the Agile Manifesto was signed, I don't know what they're doing. Because if they don't know that, what do they know? It calls it all into question. It makes me nervous. Not because it's an important date or anything, but because it's foundational to what we do. It's a key part of those early days of the Agile world. So make sure you've got that knowledge to hand. It doesn't have to be comprehensive. You can, and in fact it helps later on, admit when you don't know. But please, when you don't know the answer, go research it, learn it, and come back with it. Okay? And this leads into reliability, your say-do factor. When you say you do something, do it. And this is actually key as your role as an Agile coach with the team. Yes, I'm going to go and talk to them. Make sure you've spoken to them. Okay? And many people will say, yeah, but there's lots and lots of things to do. Yes, there always is. That list will never end. So work out how much you can realistically do and only say you will do that. Don't promise everything because you're going to upset someone. That's going to knock their trust of you, of your ability, of your belief, how important you think they are. It's going to harm something. So many Agile coaches that I work with, it's about reducing the amount of work they're doing so that what they do have is the most valuable stuff, absolutely, but they have capacity to do it. Okay? In that way, the teams will start seeing John says he's going to do it, and he did it. And occasionally John said he would do it on Thursday, but on Friday morning he immediately said it didn't happen last night because, Gary was out of the office. So I'm going to try and track him down first thing today. He's admitted it, he's been open, and he said he's on it. Okay, I trust that he's on it. If it keeps happening, we've got an issue, but it's a one-off, that's okay. So that's reliability. You want to work on that as well, your say-do factor. And then intimacy. It's a bit of a strange word, but really we're talking about how well somebody knows you. When you think about it, people you know well, you trust more. Regardless of their credibility and their reliability, you know them, you know who they are, you know what they stand for. So we need to build those relationships with each individual in the team. When I start with a new client, particularly when I'm working with a team, I will very often sit down with each one. It used to be go grab a coffee, and I would spend days sat in coffee shops just chatting to people, getting to know them a bit better. Not only about work, but about their life. I'm interested in people. That is one of the things that makes Agile coaching such a fascinating profession for me, is I get to meet people, I get to know them. Right? I want to do that on day one. Start talking to them, not only about work, but their likes, their dislikes, their hobbies, the film they watch the weekend. As long as you're interested, it doesn't matter what that conversation's about. You're going to get to know them, they're going to get to know you, and in that process it's going to help you develop an environment where they can trust and you can trust them. Okay? So, credibility, reliability and intimacy. These are levers you can actively work on. You can get to know people better, you can put more time in the diary, you can maybe plan social things with the team, you can spend time before meetings just having a chat. And all good. Your reliability, your say-do factor. Commit to less, but what you commit to, get it done. Okay? And your credibility, your knowledge, your experience in the domain. Your experience will come with time. There's no way of fast-tracking that. Don't lie. Please don't. Maintain your integrity. Okay? You're going to get the experience with time, but your knowledge, that's a thing you can actively gain. You can go out, you can read books, you can listen to podcasts. You can go on courses, you can join meetups, workshops, whatever works for you and whatever is available to you, go do it. A great Agile coach, a great Scrum Master is a voracious consumer of knowledge. Okay? Because they want to know they have the tools and the techniques and the models to hand to help the people they work with. And the only way you can get that is by shoving it in your head. Go out and learn stuff. Okay? Take time and learn it. Don't just read a book and think I'm done. Spend some time with it. Okay? Build that credibility up. Over time, it comes. Now, all of that is over self-orientation. This is something that is a bit of a litmus test for me with Agile coaches, with Scrum Masters. How oriented, how interested are they in themselves? Why are they doing this role? Okay? I strongly believe a good Scrum Master, a good Agile coach is going to have low self-orientation. They are not there for them. Yes, we get paid. Yes, I'll be honest, I get satisfaction out of helping people. Seeing teams grow, seeing organisations evolve into more agile entities. I get satisfaction out of that. But I'm not there for that. Okay? I get more satisfaction out of seeing people be able to do their job better. I'm interested in helping you, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm not after the person who turns up and says, I'm going to do this role for 2 years so that I can get a promotion. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this team to that state so that I look good. When they talk about themselves, a lot in some cases, the alarm bells start ringing. Are they orientated towards others? Do they work in service to others? It really is that servant leadership coming into play here. Is that their thing? Is their focus actually on creating environments so other people excel and they may not get the credit for that? Or is it making sure they look good and other people know that they are doing a job and etc.? It's about their advancement. Nothing wrong with ambition. There's nothing wrong at all. But for Scrum Masters, for Agile coaches, that's tempered with actually, I will do the thing that will help my team, my organisation improve, regardless of whether it's best for me or not, in the belief that in the long run, the results will show through. And because you've been focused on those people, because you've been focused on that environment and changing things so that everybody performs better, the organisations will recognise it as a valuable contribution. So for me, that model is how I approach trust, regardless of internal or external. Right? Internals, you've got a better chance with intimacy. You're part of the organisation. Hopefully you've met these people before. You've got those inroads. You may have connected people where you can be introduced by somebody who's already trusted and bring a bit of their trust along with that, because we do trust the people that our friends trust. Okay? So you've got some stuff there. If you're an external Agile coach, maybe that credibility is easier. You're the prophet from another land. Just that in itself helps. Okay? Externals tend to have more qualifications, more certifications, or at least more visibly. So make use of them. Absolutely. But you need to look at all four levers. Not only do you need to be credible, not only do you need to know them well, you need to be reliable, personally reliable, and you need to be aware that your involvement, your ambition isn't getting in the way of you doing the best role as a Scrum Master, as an Agile coach you can. If you've got to this point in the video, I hope you've enjoyed it. If so, a like would be appreciated. If you want to hear more from me, more answers to questions that maybe you've got in the Agile world, please subscribe to the channel. And if you've got a question that you really want answered, drop it in the comments. I promise we'll get around to it. Thank you.